Our story begins on Geonosis. The Battle of Geonosis had erupted into chaos. Across the planet's rocky surface, the newly created Grand Army of the Republic clashed with countless separatist battle droids, marking the beginning of the Clone Wars. Jedi generals led their clone forces through the battlefield, pushing back waves of droids as explosions shook the ground. In the middle of the chaos, Grand Master Yoda stood inside a Republic command center, calmly studying the battle and directing Jedi and clone commanders where they were needed most. As Yoda looked across the battlefield, something caught his attention. A small speeder was racing away from the fighting, moving toward a distant hangar. Yoda narrowed his eyes as he recognized its pilot, Count Dooku, his former padawan and now leader of the separatist movement. Behind Dooku, a Republic gunship was in pursuit. Through the cockpit, Yoda could make out Obi Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Padme Amidala. Yoda knew Obi Wan and Anakin were determined to stop Dooku, but he also knew exactly how dangerous his former apprentice had become. Without wasting another moment, Yoda boarded a nearby gunship and ordered the clone pilot to follow Dooku. High above the battlefield, Dooku noticed the Republic gunship chasing him and immediately ordered 2 escort ships to turn around and destroy it. The escorts moved into position and prepared to fire, but before they could attack, Yoda's gunship swooped in and opened fire. Both ships exploded in quick succession, leaving Dooku alone. Realizing he was running out of time, Dooku accelerated toward his private hangar, where a ship was already waiting for his escape. Dooku landed and raced into the hangar, but before he could reach his waiting ship, 2 Republic gunships landed behind him. Obi-Wan and Anakin jumped from one, while Yoda stepped out of the other. Padme remained with the clones as Yoda instructed her to stay behind for her own safety. Dooku stopped as he heard 3 lightsabers ignite behind him. He slowly turned around and saw Obi-Wan, Anakin, and his former master standing together. A faint smile crossed Dooku's face as he looked at Yoda. "At last," Dooku said quietly, "our confrontation has been long awaited." Yoda stepped forward and lowered his lightsaber slightly. He told Dooku to surrender and end the conflict before more innocent lives were lost. Dooku sighed, explaining that he was trying to save the galaxy from a republic that had become too corrupt to survive. Anakin immediately challenged him, asking how slaughtering innocent people could possibly help anyone. Dooku looked toward the young Jedi and calmly explained that the Republic was beyond saving. In his mind, the only solution was to tear it down and build something better in its place. Yoda looked at his former apprentice with disappointment. He reminded Dooku that he had strayed so far from the light that he could no longer see that he had become part of the problem. Dooku simply replied that everything would be revealed in time before igniting his red lightsaber. Yoda then turned toward Obi-Wan and Anakin, telling them to remain focused and fight together. The 3 Jedi surrounded Dooku, their blades glowing against the dim hangar, before Anakin suddenly lunged forward and the duel began. Dooku gracefully deflected Anakin's first attacks before ducking beneath Yoda's strike and spinning away from Obi-Wan's blade. Anakin became increasingly aggressive, pressing Dooku with powerful swings, but the Count remained calm and precise. After blocking several attacks, Dooku kicked Anakin backward and unleashed a burst of Force lightning that sent him crashing across the hangar. Obi-Wan rushed to help him, while Yoda pressed Dooku, but Dooku's mastery of Form 2 allowed him to keep both Jedi at a distance. With a sudden flick of his wrist, he caught Obi-Wan off guard, disarmed him, and hurled him into a nearby wall. Now only Yoda remained standing before him. The former master and apprentice slowly circled one another, their movements almost perfectly mirroring each other after years of training together. Yoda pleaded with Dooku one final time to remember who he once was, but Dooku refused to listen. Their blades clashed again and again until Dooku suddenly struck Yoda with enough force to stagger him. Seeing his opportunity, Dooku unleashed a devastating stream of Force lightning. Yoda caught the attack with both hands, struggling against the overwhelming power. Dooku poured all his anger into the lightning, but Yoda held firm. With a final surge of strength, Yoda redirected the lightning back toward Dooku, striking him in the chest and sending him crashing into the wall. Dooku slowly lifted his head as Yoda approached him, lightsaber pointed directly at his chest. "It is over, Dooku," Yoda said firmly. Before the Count could respond, Padme and a squad of clone troopers rushed into the hangar. The clones surrounded Dooku and placed him in restraints. As one of the troopers searched him, he discovered a small holodisc hidden beneath Dooku's robes. The clone handed it to Yoda, who activated it and watched in silence as plans for a massive planet-destroying weapon appeared before him. Yoda's expression darkened. Whatever Dooku intended, it could bring unimaginable death to the galaxy. Yoda gave the holodisc to Padme and told her that she must present the evidence directly to Chancellor Palpatine. He urged her to convince the Chancellor that continuing the war would only bring more suffering to the Republic and Separatists. Yoda then instructed Anakin to escort Padme safely back to Coruscant. Anakin bowed his head before joining Padme aboard a Republic transport. Meanwhile, Yoda and Obi Wan escorted their prisoner back to the Jedi Temple. Neither Jedi realized that by capturing Dooku, they had just shattered Darth Sidious's carefully constructed plan. Inside Palpatine's office, Anakin and Padme revealed everything they had discovered. Padme pleaded with the Chancellor to consider negotiations with the Separatists before millions of innocent beings died. Palpatine remained calm on the outside, but inside he was furious. Dooku's capture had destroyed one of his most important pieces. He asked what had happened to the Separatist leader, and Anakin explained that Yoda had defeated Dooku and taken him to the Jedi Temple. Palpatine immediately understood that Dooku could expose everything. He asked Padme for the holodisc, and the moment she handed it to him, his eyes changed. Before Anakin could react, Palpatine unleashed a powerful burst of Force lightning that blasted the young Jedi across the office. Padme stared in horror as the Chancellor revealed his true nature. Before she could escape, Palpatine used the Force to knock her unconscious. Meanwhile, Dooku stood in chains before the Jedi Council as Mace Windu demanded to know the identity of his Sith master. Dooku remained silent until Yoda calmly reminded him that the Sith would eventually betray him. Yoda asked him to remember the young Jedi he once was, the man who had wanted to fix the galaxy. Dooku finally looked toward his former master. He knew Yoda was right. Once Sidious learned of his capture, he will stop at nothing to silence him. After a moment of silence, whispered the truth. Chancellor Palpatine is the Sith Lord. The council chamber fell completely silent after Dooku revealed Palpatine's identity. Windu stared at him, clearly struggling to believe that the Chancellor they had trusted for years was secretly a Sith Lord. Yoda immediately realized the danger. He had sent Anakin and Padme directly to Palpatine with the evidence, meaning they could already be in terrible danger. Dooku warned that if Palpatine had discovered the truth, he would have taken them somewhere hidden. When Yoda asked where that place might be, Dooku revealed that he knew the location of Palpatine's secret lair. Dooku offered to lead the Jedi there, but only if they removed his restraints. Windu immediately refused, arguing that freeing a Sith Lord was far too dangerous. Dooku calmly reminded him that every second they wasted could mean Skywalker and Senator Amidala were already dead. Yoda finally made the decision, telling Windu to release his former apprentice. Windu reluctantly removed Dooku's restraints, though he kept his hand close to his lightsaber. Soon, Yoda, Windu, Obi Wan, Plo Koon, Koth, and Dooku boarded a Republic gunship and headed toward the industrial sector. During the flight, Yoda watched Dooku carefully. He reminded his former apprentice that he had spared him on Geonosis because he still believed there was good left within him. But if Dooku betrayed them or placed anyone in danger, Yoda warned that he would not hesitate to stop him. Dooku gave only a vague response, saying that he would do what he must. Eventually, the gunship arrived at the abandoned Lair building. Dooku led the Jedi inside, guiding them through the dark corridors until they discovered a hollow disc lying on the floor. As Yoda activated it, the holographic figure of Darth Sidious appeared before them. Sidious laughed as he revealed that he was surprised the Jedi had managed to disrupt his plans, though he considered it nothing more than a minor setback. Obi Wan stepped forward and demanded to know where Anakin and Padme were. Sidious simply smiled and declared that Anakin would soon embrace the darkness. He then turned toward Dooku and called him a failure, claiming that his weakness would eventually be his undoing. Before disappearing, Sidious revealed that the galaxy would soon believe the Jedi and Dooku had secretly worked together to create the war. The hologram vanished, and suddenly hundreds of explosives throughout the building began activating. Windu shouted for everyone to run, but before they could escape, the entire building erupted in explosions. The Lair building began collapsing around the Jedi as explosions tore through its structure. The floor suddenly gave way beneath Windu, Obi Wan, Plo Koon, and Eth Koth, separating them from Yoda and Dooku. Windu shouted for Yoda to leave and promised they would find another way out. Yoda tried to return for them, but a massive section of the ceiling crashed down, blocking the path. With fire spreading through the building, Dooku urged Yoda to keep moving. The two raced through the collapsing structure before finally reaching a window and leaping onto a nearby rooftop. Yoda and Dooku struggled to catch their breath as they watched the Lair building collapse into a massive pile of burning rubble. Yoda could only hope the other Jedi had survived. Suddenly, an invisible force grabbed Dooku and violently slammed him against a wall. Yoda turned and saw Darth Sidious standing behind them. Before Yoda could fully rise, Sidious unleashed Force lightning and sent the Grand Master crashing to the ground. Sidious mocked Yoda, calling him a failure who had allowed the Jedi Order to become blind to the darkness growing around them. Yoda weakly asked what he had done with Anakin, and Sidious simply smiled. Sidious stepped aside, revealing Anakin standing behind him, and Padme kneeling nearby with an explosive vest wrapped around her body. Sidious handed Anakin his lightsaber and ordered him to kill Yoda. Anakin refused, but Sidious raised a detonator and threatened to kill Padme if he disobeyed. He told Anakin that if he refused to become his apprentice, Padme would die, and if he failed to follow any command, she would die. Trapped by fear, Anakin reluctantly ignited his lightsaber. He looked at Yoda with tears in his eyes and apologized, saying he could not let Padme die. Yoda gave him a quiet nod of understanding as Anakin charged forward. Anakin attacked with everything he had, his strikes becoming faster and more desperate with every moment. Yoda, already weakened by Sidious's lightning, struggled to defend himself while refusing to strike Anakin down. Then Yoda noticed Dooku slowly beginning to awaken. Realizing Sidious was focused entirely on the duel, Yoda quietly told Anakin to trust him. During their next clash, Yoda deliberately overextended himself, allowing Anakin to kick his lightsaber away. Yoda used the Force to guide his weapon toward Dooku without Sidious noticing. As Anakin raised his blade to deliver the final strike, Dooku suddenly grabbed Yoda's lightsaber and charged Sidious. Sidious turned just in time to block him, but after a brief struggle, Sidious drove the blade into Dooku's stomach. Refusing to fall, Dooku pulled Sidious closer and plunged Yoda's lightsaber into the Sith Lord's chest. Both Sith collapsed as Anakin immediately rushed to Padme and removed the explosive vest. Yoda slowly knelt beside Dooku as the Count lay dying on the rooftop. Dooku looked toward his former master, his strength fading with every breath, and apologized for everything he had done. Yoda told him that despite the darkness he had embraced, he had chosen the light when it mattered most. Dooku admitted that all he had ever wanted was to fix the galaxy, and Yoda told him that his anger toward the Republic had not been entirely wrong. The Republic was flawed, but destroying it was never the answer. With a faint smile, Dooku looked at Yoda one final time before passing away. Not long afterward, Obi Wan, Windu, Plo Koon, and Ithkoth found the others and helped them return to the Jedi Temple. With Palpatine dead and the evidence recovered, Padme revealed the truth about the Sith Lord's manipulation and the planet-destroying weapon he had planned to create. The Republic and Separatist Senates were horrified to discover that they had both been manipulated into fighting a war designed to benefit one man. Rather than continuing the conflict, representatives from both sides began negotiations. The Separatist Senate eventually provided the locations of its military leaders, allowing them to be arrested and placed on trial for their role in the conspiracy. Days later, Yoda stood alone beneath the great tree in the Jedi Temple gardens, mourning the loss of his former apprentice. Anakin approached him and apologized for attacking him under Sidious's control. Yoda gave a small laugh and told Anakin that love could drive someone to do foolish things. Anakin awkwardly tried to deny what Yoda meant, but Yoda simply smiled and told him that there was nothing wrong with loving someone, as long as love did not become obsession. Anakin smiled, finally understanding the lesson Yoda was trying to teach him. Soon afterward, Anakin and Padme would eventually marry, but this time with the blessing and support of Yoda and Obi Wan. With the Clone Wars prevented from consuming the galaxy, Yoda began looking inward at the Jedi Order. He recognized that the Jedi had become too closely tied to the Republic and had allowed political rules to cloud their connection to the Force. He pushed the Order to listen more carefully to the will of the Force and to confront the problems they had ignored for generations. The Jedi were no longer being used as generals in a war created by the Sith. Instead, they returned to their true purpose, protecting life, preserving peace, and guiding the galaxy through its darkest moments. And because Yoda had chosen to fight beside Obi Wan and Anakin on Geonosis, the Sith's grand design had been stopped before the galaxy could burn. For the first time in generations, the Jedi were truly what they were always meant to be, keepers of the peace. And that is where our story ends. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all for the support, and as always, may the Force be with you.